Welcome to the City Current Show, powered by Hagen-Botham Insurance and Financial Services.
This show focuses on sharing good news and powering the good in our community. Now here's your host, Andrew Bartolotta.
Welcome to the cityCURRENT Show, where we bring you uplifting stories of individuals and organizations making a positive impact in our community and around the globe. I'm your host, Andrew Bartolotta, and research indicates that 80% of individuals feel that updating their home decor positively influences their mental health, their space as well. And so joining us today is Nicole Colin, founder of Coco Design Build Company, who is passionate about creating spaces that enhance health, reduce stress, and promote peace. Beyond her design work, Coco leads the Old Fishbowl Gallery, a nonprofit community center dedicated to supporting local artists and giving back to her region. Coco, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Andrew.
Coco, let's start with your journey. What led you to create Coco Design Build Company, and how did you discover your passion for transforming spaces?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay, so that's so funny. Before we got on this podcast, Andrew, we were just talking about how people are so nice in the South, right?
Yeah.
I went to New York because I wanted to be a fashion designer, and that's the place to be. That was not a good trip for me. I felt like a lot of people said mean things to me. There was a weird energy in the air. It just felt like it wasn't for me. And being a fashion designer in Chicago is possible, but not as possible as New York. So I started thinking about things that I could do with my creativity outside of, fashion. And interior design just seemed like the right place, the right fit for me. So I started working in interior design and I loved it right away. It just felt like me. I'm one of those people that when I was 4 years old, I was like, okay, let's paint the wall. And I lived on a farm, so my family was not into it. So it just is who I am, somewhere in the core. I think a lot of us can say that about our passion projects, right?
Yes, and I think finding not only ourselves, but our passion and purpose to then lead and help others is so important. And surrounding ourselves in our space, it helps shape our thoughts, our feelings, our behaviors. How does your design philosophy help people live healthier, happier lives?
Well, absolutely. When you are in a space that feeds you, you have better energy, you feel like doing things. I think we have all experienced that when we're in a space that just feels good. Colors can affect your mood and things like that, but also function. I was thinking about that a couple of months ago when somebody told me they haven't been eating well in their kitchen and they hadn't renovated it. And we were talking about how they could make things easier to get their breakfast done in the morning or things like that. And part of that is just about having things accessible. What if you want to do a Vitamix smoothie every morning? Do you want to drag that thing from the bottom of a cabinet, or do you want it in a appliance garage where, hey, I can just pull it out and make my smoothie every day? Little things like that can really change your life. It sounds a little silly, but I really believe that. Sometimes when we're done with a project, I ask people how things have been changing in their space, and everybody has a story. One lady, a couple of years ago told me that because her kids could actually sit at an island and do their homework while she was cooking dinner, she got to spend like an hour and a half more with her kids every single day than she ever had before. That's a huge difference in your life. So interior design really can change your life.
Yeah, space defines so much. I know I have three toddlers and we live in a very small home, but it's manageable. But finding those ways where we can all live comfortably, but every piece in every room has a function is so important for our sense of wellness. And so,
Totally.
beyond functionality, what are some emerging trends in home design that contribute to that sense of peace, wellness, and productivity that you are seeing?
I can't speak to a trend that helps you with that other than just certain colors can make a certain personality just bloom. But if you have your space functionally situated well, it's definitely going to make you stick to goals. I mean, you can change your whole life by just putting things in the right place and making it accessible.
Yes, well, you're preaching to the choir here. That's something everyone is trying to do right now. And right now we're sort of in the middle of the process and it can be very daunting and overwhelming.
Right.
But once things are in their place and space, you realize how much weight it sort of put on you, and the weight that it takes off having places where there's things where they need to be. And
Yes.
I love this whole color theory aspect of it as well. Not only because how colors can affect moods, but even like in our children's room at night, we have this like aurora borealis projector, and
I love
I
it.
was looking at it with my son last night, and I thought, even something like that, where it's just turned on at night, because design-wise, it's not the most beautiful thing, but for functionality at night, it's very peaceful and calming, and so I think when a space is like that, it just helps you become that as well.
It's almost like a womb, like you're going back, it's cozy, it makes you feel good, and then changes your whole outlook. Yeah.
It really does. Okay, so talk about maybe another um, transformation that you've been a part of that you really could see a before and after.
Okay. Well, I did a bathroom. I do a many of these bathrooms where people they're empty nesters. They start to, kick out their kids and everybody's at college and now we want that spa bathroom experience to make, so that you don't have to go out to a spa. You could actually have that experience every single day at your home. So I specifically thinking of a place where there were a lot of little nooks and crannies in this bathroom. There was a little linen cabinet pushing out into the space. And I don't know how I feel about feng shui. Honestly, I don't really practice it or anything like that. But some of the elements of feng shui are so huge. Like if there's weird angles coming out in the room, it pulls the energy in a weird direction. It feels so good to have it more open and flowy. And yeah. So we did that with that space and we also made a curbless shower. We put in the body sprays. We did all the bells and whistles, the steam, the tub with the bubbles. And yeah, it was amazing. Like the after is nowhere near what the before was. So it's very exciting to see a transformation like that.
It's really cool to work also in an industry where you have such blatant like before and afters. And I think
Mhm.
so many people are, that's why we're attracted to, HGTV, to be able to see that transformation. Everyone loves a good transformation. So to be able
Absolutely.
to help people in their lives, tell us a little bit about your work if someone wants to work with you in the interior design space.
Absolutely. So I niche market in my area. I'm in Evanston. I have a storefront here. Um, it's so funny. When I was buying Christmas presents last year, I could walk to every single project that I had to give them the gift, except for one. So I'm very, very localized. However, I do work about an hour outside of that circle. If anybody wanted to reach out to me from Chicago or from Chicagoland area, North Shore, I definitely could work with them. I don't tend to work with people online yet. I have plans in place for that, but yeah, for the moment, it's going to be the locals.
For those that are listening outside the Evanston and greater Chicagoland area, tell us a little bit about what you love about Evanston and try to entice some of us to come visit.
That's so easy. I love Evanston. I grew up in the UP of Michigan, which I do also love. However, I am the kind of person that needs the energy of a city. So I feel like Evanston is like Chicago, except for a little, couple notches down in the city type feel. There it's very urban. But people are nice here and people are very focused on being good neighbors and the community is a huge thing here. So I mean, I was only here for maybe 6 months when I realized I had found my forever home. It's really amazing. People will go out of their way to help you. And honestly, the reason why I wanted to give back to the community is because I got so much when I came here. Every time I needed something, I didn't even have to say it out loud. There was just somebody handing it to me. It's just unbelievable here.
Well, that definitely sounds like Evanston is the place, and hopefully those listening and watching can also relate to where they live. So, speaking of giving back, let's talk about the Old Fishbowl Gallery. What inspired you to take on this passion project, and how did you decide to turn it into a nonprofit?
Sure. So it is interesting how it happened because I think it was increments, you know. First of all, I signed a lease for my space. I have a design showroom here in Evanston on the corner of Dempster and Chicago, and I signed the lease during COVID. And because I was taking over a space that was here for 50 years, like it was the old fishbowl. Well, not old without the old, the fishbowl for 50 years. Everybody was very hyper focused on what's happening here. I started renovating this space and well, I should back up a little bit. I actually got 2 storefronts for the price of 1, and I didn't know what to do with the other storefront, you know, like, I knew that I would probably grow into it, so I thought it was an amazing opportunity to just take it since I wasn't being charged extra for a couple of years. So I had it kinda sitting here open and empty, and somebody came and knocked on the door one day and said, I see you have this empty space, wondering if I could just put up some art and show my friends or, you know, they actually were trying to sell it to make money for the community, which is what I ended up doing. And it probably planted a seed, you know, but really, I use this space as a community center too. There's a lot of people that will, like, for instance, the Rotary uses it every year for their new members meeting. I've had them come the last 3 years in a row. I've had people have their anniversary parties here for their business. A lot of community type events. I've had booked came here or you know they asked me to have a pop up and there's all kinds of things always happening here. It's just fun to be able to help the community and also be involved in the community I love so much and that has given me so much. It's just a payback, really.
And it's so powerful to have a space for people to gather and you use it, like you said, as a community hub. What sort of events, initiatives are you launching to bring people together?
So right now, it's perfectly to be perfectly frank, a lot of times I'm just like, "Hey, use my space." And then it ends up being really cool things are happening here and I just get to stop by. But me personally, I have a different artist come in every 2 months. We hang up their art. We'll have a special gallery opening for them. We have I try to make it, you know, really great, as great as I can possibly do on my own. I have lots of little snacks and I'll have drinks. There's always free drinks. And then we have a premium bar where I can make some money for, you know, the nonprofit efforts that I have here. And we just have a big party and have fun. So that's the kind of stuff that I like to do. And I did just launch Evanston Made here in Evanston has a wonderful program where they have open studio every first Saturday, and I've decided to kind of piggyback off of that and have my gallery open the same time, which is every first Saturday from noon till 2 p.m. People can come in, see and I'll try to have the artist here if it's possible, you know, and show the artist's work and that sort of thing. And we, any money that we get from someone purchasing some of this art goes 100% of the profits go back to the community, so
I love that because when you align your values with your business and then philanthropically give back, I think that's a win-win. And so
yes.
for those that are business owners that are looking at you for inspiration on giving back as a core value in your business and life, what advice would you give them?
Just follow your heart. I mean, I really just was kind of thinking about things I could do for others, and it just kind of snowballed into this thing, and it's becoming a really wonderful part of my business day. I mean, a lot of times I'm working on my interior design portion of the design studio, but then, you know, we'll have an opening, we'll have people come by. It's so fun just to get involved with the community, and I can't say enough for, like, when I can give back because, like I said, Evanston's given a lot to me. Like, I just feel like, "Yay, I get to be the one giving now, you know what I mean?
Yes, that's a win-win there. Okay, so once again, for people looking to support your work, whether it's through your design business or your community initiatives, what are some of the ways they can get involved?
Anybody that could come by and just support is great. I also need volunteers, so if anybody's in the Evanston area, just reach out to me at cocodesignbuild.com. That's my email address, and we can get you, working for the community just a little bit at a time.
Coco, thank you so much for coming on and inspiring us to lead and give back to our community.
Thank you, Andrew.